Hi everyone, Misty Moranville, Misty, your STEAM teacher, just coming on to show you about cospaces. If you aren't familiar with cospaces, it's an online code tool that allows you to develop and program your own code and then see it in virtual or augmented reality. So right now, if you are a Robbinsdale student, you have a little bit experience. We have just gotten into Tinkercad and cospaces. And so here is our student login. For those of you who have your login information, there again is our password. So when you are on our platform, you will see it starts with an empty stage or grid. And so you kind of think of it kind of like a theater. We have to set our stage, we have to set our setting. So in order to do that, we're going to come on over here to this button, our setting, and we're going to set scene 1. And so I'm going to call scene 1, well, I'm going to call it Miss. All right, so there's going to be scene 1. And we also, for scene 1, need to put our backdrop in. So we're going to come down to our environment is down here on the bottom. And I'm thinking like jungle-y. I want to see our jungle. So we're going to pick our environment here. Oh, you know what? Hills could be okay too. I might represent the Black Hills as I did in my conservation area. Or I could do forest. You know what? Let's come up. Since we're in the Black Hills, let's do some hills here. And so within my environment, then you will see in my scene, it is going to place my backdrop, my environment. And so I'm going to turn, there we go. See how in order to turn, I can just grab my grid and drag to kind of turn around and see my environment. Here we are, looking kind of beautiful here in the Black Hills. Okay, so here we are. Like I stated, we've been working on conservation sites. My site is the conservation area Black Hills, and I talked about hunting and fishing licenses and some of the pine beetle issues and controlled burns and all these ways we conserve our resources here locally. So now I have my background. That's one way you can include your environment. As I kind of run low on time, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. I am going to show you how to include the character and move your character around through this environment. For those of you who have picked cospaces as your platform to model, instead of using dash and dot in the area model, you will be programming your character or your sprite to move through this environment by writing code. Now up here you can see is our code up in the upper right corner. I can click here in order to get into our code. We're going to want the basic code blocks. This is familiar to all of you now, just as Scratch and our Blockly application works. When you click the play button is our starting module. So you can now make sure that when you are programming, you can click on your different variables and make them speak, you can make them think, you can make them move around. So when you're writing your code, if you see a pattern, that would be easier. Then you can include loops. Lots of things you can do within your platform here. Maybe you also want to add some different like flowers or ways to interact. Maybe you are tracking the bison here in the Black Hills. So I might upload a bison character and some other objects to interact with that character on my grid. So I will be creating a next video.